English learners, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Hey, Erica, how are you today?
Marco, I'm doing really well, and I'm really looking forward to today's lesson.
Well, so am I, because here at English Pod, we're giving you real English.
Everyday English.
Exactly, English that you hear in movies or in TV shows.
This is English people actually use.
So, Erica, what is our topic for today?
Well, today we're talking about computer viruses.
Perfect. So I think it's time for us to take a look at our preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, today we've got 2 words to preview. The first word is virus.
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 So if your computer has a computer virus, it means your computer's sick, right?
Actually, a computer virus is a program that is designed to harm or to damage your computer.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, thank you for being so technical.
That's the technical explanation. Okay, let's take a look at our second word for our preview today, and that would be froze.
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 So if your computer froze, it means that
your computer stopped working.
Your applications or your programs stop working and you just can't do anything.
Your computer's broken.
Okay, great. So let's listen to our dialogue. It's going to be a little bit fast, but
don't worry if you don't understand everything. At the end of this podcast, you'll understand everything.
Perfect. Let's listen.
Great. The stupid computer froze again. That's the 3rd time today. Hey, Samuel, can you come take a look at my PC? It's acting up again. It must have a virus or something.
Just give me a second. I'll be right up.
I ran a virus scan on your computer, and it turns out that you have a lot of infected files.
But I'm quite careful when I'm browsing the internet. I have no idea how I could have picked up a virus.
Well, you have to make sure their antivirus software is updated regularly. Yours wasn't up to date. That's probably what was causing your problems.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, try not to kick or hit the computer.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Well, I completely understand this guy. When my computer freezes, I kick it and punch it and do everything to it.
Well, I hope you don't punch it too hard, Marco.
Well, it's still working, so it's all right.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at our language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
In today's language takeaway, we have 2 words. The first word for today is infected file.
Infected file.
Infected file.
Infected file. And what is an infected file?
An infected file is a file in your computer that has a virus in it.
Ah, perfect. That's really clear. What is our second word for the language takeaway today?
Our second word is not up to date.
Not up to date.
Not up to date.
And what is it when something is not up to date?
It means it doesn't have all the most recent information.
Okay, perfect. Now let's listen to some examples.
Example 1. I need to buy a new computer because mine isn't up to date. Example 2.
I can't find the street. Are you sure this map is up to date?
Example 3.
Sarah has just finished the reports and all the information is up to date.
Okay, that was pretty clear. You know, you can also use this phrase positively. You can say, up to date.
Okay, for example, we can say, this is a new map. This is the most up-to-date map.
Exactly. Or if I bought a new computer, I could say, I just got a new computer. All my software is up to date.
Okay, great. So now let's take a look at some phrases.
And it's time for putting it all together.
Putting it together.
Okay, so Samuel said a really great phrase. He said, I'll be right up.
I'll be right up.
I'll be right up.
I'll be right up. Now, we can use this phrase in a lot of different situations, so let's listen to some examples.
Example 1.
Can you help me with my computer?
I'll be right there.
Example 2.
Come downstairs. Dinner is ready.
I'll be right down.
Example 3.
Hurry up! I need to use the bathroom!
I'll be right out.
Okay, really great and clear examples, right?
Yeah, you know that phrase, I'll be right out? I used to hear this all the time when I was young.
Really? How come?
Well, I have 2 sisters and we were always fighting for the bathroom. So someone was always saying, just a minute, I'll be right out.
Ah, yes, that's common. I had that too when I was young. Okay, now our second phrase is, it turns out that.
It turns out that.
It turns out that.
It turns out that. This is a great phrase. You can use it in many different situations. Marco, can you give us an example?
Sure. For example, I can say, Frank didn't come to work today, and it turns out that he was sick.
Yep. Or I could say, oh, I've been feeling really sick recently.
Why?
It turns out that I'm pregnant.
Oh my God, are you really pregnant?
No, I'm not, Marco. I'm just kidding.
All right, okay, so it's time for us to listen to our dialogue again, but this time it'll be
A little bit slower.
all right.
Oh, great. This stupid computer froze again. That's the 3rd time today. Hey, Samuel, can you come take a look at my PC? It's acting up again. It must have a virus or something.
Just give me a second. I'll be right up. I ran a virus scan on your computer, and it turns out that you have a lot of infected files.
But I'm quite careful when I'm browsing the internet. I have no idea how I could have picked up a virus.
Well, you have to make sure that your antivirus software is updated regularly. Yours wasn't up to date. That's probably what was causing your problems.
Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, try not to kick or hit the computer.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay, that was a lot more clear this time.
Definitely, yeah, I understood a lot more. Okay, so now it's time to look at Fluency Builder. Erica, why don't you explain what Fluency Builder is?
In Fluency Builder, we give you some great, useful phrases to help you express your ideas clearly.
Okay, great, so let's look at Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, so in this dialogue, we know his computer wasn't working.
Right, so many students would probably say his computer was acting strangely.
His computer isn't working properly.
Exactly, and that's perfect and that's fine.
Yeah, but there's a really great way to say it that we heard in the dialogue.
It's acting up again. It's acting up again.
I love this phrase, it's acting up. Yeah, it sounds really natural.
It sounds really natural. Okay, we're ready to listen to our dialogue a 3rd time, but this time,
it'll be at the normal speed. Try and see if you can hear these key words.
Oh, great. The stupid computer froze again. That's the 3rd time today. Hey, Samuel, can you come take a look at my PC? It's acting up again. It must have a virus or something.
Just give me a second. I'll be right up.
I ran a virus scan on your computer, and it turns out that you have a lot of infected files.
but I'm quite careful when I'm browsing the internet. I have no idea how I could have picked up a virus.
Well, you have to make sure their antivirus software is updated regularly. Yours wasn't up to date. That's probably what was causing your problems.
Okay, anything else?
Yeah, try not to kick or hit the computer.
Yeah, sorry about that.
So, Marco, I really think that my computer actually has a virus now.
Really? How come?
Because I have been turning on my computer and then suddenly it turns off by itself. It shuts down by itself.
Yeah, that sounds like a virus.
But I ran a virus scan and there was no problem.
Well, maybe your antivirus software isn't up to date.
Yeah, I guess I'd better call Samuel.
Yeah, you can call Samuel to fix it.
Yeah.
All right, folks, we're out of time now, but be sure to go to our website at englishpod.com where you can leave all your questions and comments.
So stay tuned for our next great lesson. And until next time, goodbye.
Bye.
Hello and welcome, English learners. We're so excited to have you here. If you've ever shouted at your laptop or begged your computer not to freeze while working, this lesson is for you. Today, we're diving into the real, everyday English people actually use when they're dealing with frustrating tech problems. You might have heard people say, "My computer froze again," or "It's acting up." These are not textbook phrases, but they're what native speakers say all the time. And that's why this topic is perfect for improving your English fluency. You'll learn how to understand and use natural phrases when talking about computer problems. Plus, you'll sound more confident and fluent doing it. Think about this. Have you ever told someone my computer is not working? That's correct, but it's not what people usually say. Instead, they might say, "It's acting up again," which sounds much more natural. Or maybe someone says, "I'll be right up," when they're coming to help you. Simple phrases like that are everywhere in real English. In this first part, let's explore two useful words you'll often hear when talking about computers: virus and froze. A computer virus is not a real illness, but it acts like one for your machine. It can damage your files or slow everything down. And when your screen just stops, nothing works, and you feel helpless, that's when your computer has frozen. You can't click, you can't type, and you definitely can't finish your homework. You'll also hear phrases like "not up to date" when software or antivirus programs are too old. This is a super useful expression for other situations too. You can say your map isn't up to date, or your phone system, or even your information. So in this part, we're getting familiar with these key ideas. My computer froze. It's acting up again. You need to keep your antivirus up to date. I'll be right up. It turns out that these phrases are short, natural, and powerful. They're the kind of English that makes you sound fluent, even at the elementary level. And the best part? You'll find yourself using them in conversations, emails, and even when you're chatting with tech support. Have you ever said, "My computer is not working"? That's totally fine, but it's not what most native English speakers say when their computer suddenly stops or behaves strangely. Instead, you'll often hear something more natural and expressive. "It's acting up again." This little phrase is a goldmine for your English fluency. It's short, casual, and super common in real conversations. You can use acting up not just for computers, but also for phones, TVs, cars, or even your own body when something doesn't feel right. For example, "My phone is acting up. It keeps restarting." "The Wi-Fi is acting up again. I can't stay connected." "My knee always acts up when it rains." Now imagine this. You're at work and your computer freezes. Do you say, "Excuse me, my system has encountered a problem"? Probably not. That's way too formal. Try this instead. Backhand index pointing right. "Ugh, it's acting up again." It's exactly what someone like a coworker or a friend would say, and it sounds completely natural. Now, let's add another powerful expression to your English toolkit. It turns out that this is a super useful phrase when you find out new information, especially when something surprises you. You might hear, "It turns out that the software wasn't up to date." "It turns out that the files were infected." It turns out that I didn't save my work. You can also use it in everyday life. I thought I lost my keys, but it turns out they were in my bag the whole time. It turns out that she already saw that movie. So, we now have two great real-life phrases. It's acting up again. It turns out that. Together, they help you explain problems and discoveries in a natural, confident way. And here's something else. These phrases don't just sound good. They feel good to use. When you can say what's going on in simple, real English, you feel more in control and more fluent. You're not just learning English, you're living it. So, your computer has frozen. The screen is stuck, nothing works, and you need help. What do you say? And how does someone respond? Here's a phrase you'll love because it's short, friendly, and super common. I'll be right up. This is what Samuel says in the podcast when he's going to help his coworker. It's the kind of phrase native speakers use all the time, and it can change just a little depending on where you are. Let's break it down. I'll be right up. When you're going upstairs or to another level. I'll be right down. When you're going downstairs. I'll be right there. When you're going to someone's location, no matter where they are. I'll be right out. When you're coming out of a room like the bathroom. These phrases are small but powerful. They're polite, clear, and friendly. They show people you're coming soon without sounding too formal. Think about how useful this is at home, at school, or at work. Someone calls you for dinner. I'll be right down. A coworker needs help. I'll be right there. You're in the bathroom and someone's knocking. I'll be right out. This kind of language is what makes your English sound natural. You're not just translating in your head, you're responding the way native speakers do in everyday life. Now, let's connect this with the previous parts. Imagine this full, natural conversation. Ugh, my computer's acting up again. Really? It froze. Yeah, and I think it might have a virus. Okay, give me a second. I'll be right up. Thanks. I hope it's nothing serious. It turns out that your antivirus isn't up to date. This sounds exactly like something you'd hear in a real office, a school, or even at home. And the best part? These are phrases you already know how to use now. So in this part, you've learned how to offer help quickly and naturally. Respond in everyday situations with real English. Use short, flexible phrases that adapt to different places. Today we're focusing on two super useful phrases that come straight from the world of computers, but you'll hear them in all kinds of situations. They are infected files and up to date. Let's start with infected files. It sounds serious, and it is. When your computer has an infected file, it means a virus has entered your system and is now living inside a document, a program, or even a photo. It can spread, damage things, or even steal your information. But here's the cool part. This phrase teaches you more than just tech vocabulary. It helps you talk about problems in a more natural way. For example, I couldn't open that email. It had an infected file. Be careful downloading files from random websites. They might be infected. I ran a virus scan, and now it says I have 5 infected files. Now, let's talk about up to date. This phrase doesn't just apply to antivirus software, it's everywhere in English conversations. It means something has the most recent information or features. You can say, my antivirus isn't up to date. Is your phone software up to date? We need to keep the website up to date. And you can flip it into a question or negative easily. Is this map up to date? The data isn't up to date. We need to check again. But here's a little bonus tip. You can also use this phrase in conversations about news, trends, or even fashion. Like, I try to stay up to date with the latest news. Are you up to date on the new company policy? Her style is always so up to date. That's the beauty of real English. One small phrase, so many uses. It's not just about tech. It's about sounding fluent in any conversation. So now you know how to use infected file for digital problems and online safety. Up to date for everything from software to news. Put these into practice and you'll sound natural, clear, and confident. And you've learned some key phrases like it's acting up, I'll be right up, infected file, and not up to date. You might be wondering, how do I use all this in real life? without stopping to think or translate. And now you will learn all about fluency, not just knowing the words, but being able to use them without thinking in your native language first. Let's start with this. Imagine your computer just froze, and you're talking to a friend or a coworker. What's the fastest, clearest way to describe what happened? You might say, "My laptop froze again. It's acting up a lot lately. I think there's a virus. Some files might be infected. My antivirus wasn't up to date. I forgot to check." These are short, natural phrases that help you say a lot with just a few words. But many learners get stuck trying to say something like, "My computer is not functioning correctly due to a system failure." That sounds formal, robotic, and most people don't talk like that. Instead, say, "Backhand index pointing right, it's acting up again. Backhand index pointing right, it froze. Backhand index pointing right, something's wrong. It might be a virus." Here's the trick. Think in phrases, not in single words. Don't translate word by word from your native language. That makes your English slower and more unnatural. Try to feel the rhythm of how native speakers talk. In the podcast, for example, the phrases feel quick and real. "Just give me a second. I'll be right up. It turns out that your software wasn't up to date." Try not to kick the computer. When you listen closely, you realize fluent English isn't about fancy words. It's about clear, simple expressions used at the right time. One great way to build fluency is to repeat phrases out loud, like mini scripts. Say them with emotion, like you're in the situation. "Ugh, it froze again. Hey, can you take a look? It turns out there's a virus." Use your hands, your face, your voice, because real communication is about more than just words. So in this part, remember, don't overthink grammar while speaking. Use short, real phrases you hear from native speakers. Practice speaking out loud. Repeat and feel the flow. So, your computer is acting up again. Maybe it froze. Maybe you think it has a virus. Now it's time to ask someone for help, but how do you do it in clear, polite, natural English? You don't need a long, complicated sentence. One of the most useful phrases you can learn is, "Backhand index pointing right, can you take a look at it?" It's friendly, respectful, and incredibly common in daily English. You'll hear it in offices, classrooms, homes, anywhere someone needs a little help. Here's how you might use it. "Hey, can you take a look at my computer? It's acting up again. Can you take a look at this file? I can't open it. Can you take a look at the website? It won't load." You can also use this phrase in other situations, not just with tech. "Can you take a look at this report before I send it? Take a look at this photo. It's from last summer. Can you take a look at my essay? I think something's missing." It's a flexible, natural way to ask someone to help you or give their opinion, without sounding too direct. And here's a great reply if someone asks you, "Backhand index pointing right, sure, just give me a second. I'll be right up." Or even more casually, "Backhand index pointing right, yeah, I'll take a look now." These small phrases help you sound confident and helpful. You're not just speaking English, you're communicating in a way that makes people feel comfortable and understood. And one more tip, instead of saying, "Please help me with my technical issue," try something like, "Hey, I think my computer has a virus. Can you take a look? I ran a scan and it turns out I have a lot of infected files." You're using natural English and you're being polite and clear at the same time. In this part, we've added some important real-world language. "Can you take a look?" To ask for help naturally. "I'll take a look." To offer help easily. "Just give me a second." To show you're ready but need a moment. Let's be honest, when your computer freezes for the third time today, you're not going to smile and say, "It appears I'm experiencing a technical issue."
Nope.
You're probably going to say something like, "Backhand index pointing right, ugh, this stupid computer froze again." That sentence from the podcast is a perfect example of real, emotional English. It's simple, it's natural, and it's exactly what people say when they're frustrated. Let's break it down. Ugh, this little sound shows your frustration or annoyance. It's not a real word, but it's powerful and very common. This stupid computer. You're not really insulting the computer, but adding stupid. Here is how English speakers express anger or irritation in a casual way. You can also say, This stupid app won't open. My stupid phone keeps restarting. And then we have the phrase, backhand index pointing right froze again. This tells us it's not the first time. It happened before, and that's what makes it even more frustrating. You don't need long sentences to show how you feel. English speakers often use short, emotional expressions that carry a lot of meaning. It's driving me crazy. I can't take this anymore. Why is this happening again? Seriously? Even a deep sigh and one word like again can say a lot. The key is balance. In English, people express frustration all the time, but they still try to stay friendly and polite, especially at work or with people they don't know well. So instead of yelling or using rude words, try, I don't know what's wrong. It's acting up again. This is so frustrating. It keeps freezing. I've had it with this thing. These sound real, but not aggressive. You can even add a little humor, like in the podcast when Marco says, backhand index pointing right, when my computer freezes, I kick it and punch it and do everything to it. He's not being serious, it's a joke. But this kind of humor is really common in English. It's a way to say, I'm frustrated, but with a smile. So in this part, remember, it's okay to show emotion in English. Use short, real expressions to sound natural. Add humor to express frustration without sounding angry. When someone has a problem, like a frozen computer or a virus, the next step is usually helping them fix it. But how do you give advice in English without sounding too direct, too formal, or too pushy? Let's start with a phrase from the podcast. Backhand index pointing right, you have to make sure your antivirus software is updated regularly. This is a great example of natural spoken advice. It's helpful, it's clear, and it doesn't sound like an order. Here are a few simple and friendly ways to give advice in English. You should update your antivirus software. Make sure to run a scan once a week. Try not to click random links. It's a good idea to back up your files. All of these are polite, helpful, and very common in everyday English. Now, let's look at a few more examples. You should avoid downloading unknown files. Try restarting your computer. It often helps. Make sure your browser is up to date. It's a good idea to change your password every few months. These phrases are perfect whether you're giving advice to a friend, a classmate, or even a coworker. But here's a tip. The tone of your voice really matters. English speakers often use a soft, friendly tone when giving advice. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. For example, you should update your antivirus. Sounds helpful. But if you say, you should update your antivirus, now it sounds like a command. That small change in your voice makes a big difference in how your message is received. Also, notice how the podcast keeps the tone light. Even when something goes wrong, there's a little humor, a calm voice, and no panic. That's something you can practice too, especially when helping someone with a tech issue. And remember, native speakers often use these little softening words. Maybe you could. You might want to. Have you tried? Like, maybe you could restart it and see what happens. You might want to run a scan just in case. Have you tried updating the software? So in this part, you've learned how to give helpful advice with natural, everyday phrases. Use polite, soft language that makes people feel comfortable. Sound confident and supportive in English. You've probably had a moment when your computer froze right before a deadline. Or maybe your phone stopped working just when you needed to send a message. These experiences are frustrating, but they also make great stories. And storytelling is one of the best ways to build your English skills. In the podcast, Marco says, backhand index pointing right, when my computer freezes, I kick it and punch it and do everything to it. Now, of course, he's joking, but it's a story. A little moment. A quick, emotional memory. And this is how native speakers often talk. They don't just say facts. They tell what happened in a way that feels real. So, how do you tell your own stories in English? Start simple. Use phrases like, one time, yesterday, my computer just froze. I was working on something important and then it turns out that I hadn't saved my work. And then describe what happened using natural expressions. Everything was acting up. It froze and I couldn't do anything. I tried to restart it, but nothing worked. I thought I lost everything. These are short, real phrases, but when you combine them, you create a story that people can follow and connect with. You can also use feelings to bring your story to life. I was so frustrated. I couldn't believe it. I was really stressed out. But then, Samuel fixed it. That's what makes your English sound more natural and human, not just grammar, but emotion. And don't worry about being perfect. Storytelling is about connection, not perfection. People won't remember your grammar. They'll remember how you made them feel. So try telling your own short text story. What happened? What did you do? What did you say? How did you feel? How did it end? Even something simple like, last week, I opened my laptop and the screen was completely black. I tried everything, but nothing worked. It turns out that the charger wasn't plugged in. That's a real, everyday story, and now you have the language to tell it. At the end, we'll wrap everything up by showing you how to review what you've learned, keep your skills sharp, and speak English with more confidence every day. Congratulations! You've followed the full journey through real-life English, from the moment your computer freezes, to asking for help, expressing frustration, giving advice, and even telling your own story. And now, it's time to bring everything together. Let's start by remembering the key expressions you've learned. It's acting up again. A natural way to say something isn't working. It froze. The perfect phrase when your computer just stops. Infected files. Files with a virus. Up to date. Something that has the most recent version or information. Can you take a look? A polite way to ask for help. I'll be right up. A natural way to say you're coming. It turns out that. Great for explaining what you discovered. Try not to, / you should. Ways to give friendly advice. Ugh, not again. Showing emotion the way real people do. Telling short stories, sharing experiences in natural, simple English. These are small phrases, but together they give you a big voice. You've learned how to express yourself clearly, politely, emotionally, and most of all, naturally. But fluency doesn't stop here. So how do you keep improving? First, keep repeating these phrases out loud. Even just 5 minutes a day can make a big difference. Try shadowing. Listen to a native speaker say something, then repeat it with the same rhythm and tone. Second, create your own situations. Imagine your computer froze. What would you say? Who would you call? How would you describe the problem? Third, connect what you learned to your life. Use the phrase acting up when talking about your phone. Use up to date when checking your apps. Use can you take a look when asking someone to review your work. And remember, every moment you get frustrated with tech, or even with English itself, is also a learning opportunity. Instead of saying, I don't know how to say that, try backhand index pointing right. How do I say this in a more natural way? Backhand index pointing right. What phrase would I hear in a movie or podcast? The more curious you are, the more fluent you become. So, here's your final takeaway. Real fluency isn't about big grammar books. It's about small, powerful phrases used the right way, every day. You've now got those phrases. Use them. Repeat them. Make them yours.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. To stop working properly.
Freeze.
See, revise.
Take a look.
Not working properly.
Act up.
Go upstairs soon.
Be right up.
Get, acquire.
Pick up.
Look, search.
Browse.
Having all the most recent information.
Up to date.
Computer screen.
Monitor.
Person in a company who fixes computers.
Computer tech.
Damaged or broken computer file that can't be opened.
Corrupt file.
Look for information on the internet.
Surf the net.
Computer program that allows you to go on the internet.
Web browser.
Let's try that faster. See, revise.
Take a look.
Computer screen.
Monitor.
Person in a company who fixes computers.
Computer tech.
Not working properly.
Act up.
Having all the most recent information.
Up to date.
Go upstairs soon.
Be right up.
Look, search.
Browse.
Get, acquire.
Pick up.
To stop working properly.
Freeze.
Damaged or broken computer file that can't be opened.
Corrupt file.
Look for information on the internet.
Surf the net.
Computer program that allows you to go on the internet.
Web browser.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Computer viruses cause a lot of problems. If you don't have virus protection software, you will get a computer virus. How can I protect my computer from getting a virus? Be right up. I'll be right down to help you with your computer. Be right up. I'm downstairs talking to Kim, but I'll be right up to see you. Be right up. I'll be right over when I'm finished writing this email. Freeze. If your computer freezes, you'll have to shut it down. Freeze. Something is wrong with my mobile phone. It keeps freezing. Freeze. The files are not ready yet because my computer froze last night. Act up. Your computer is fixed now. It shouldn't act up anymore. Act up. This TV is always acting up. I need to buy a new one. Act up. When the weather is cold, my car acts up. Take a look. I need you to take a look at these reports after they've been edited. Take a look. Take a look at this bill. It's so expensive. Take a look. Come take a look at these pictures. You looked so young. Browse. I didn't get anything done at work. I was browsing the internet all day. Browse. Were you browsing the internet today? Browse. It's important to keep your credit card number safe when browsing the internet. Up to date. Is my virus protection software up to date? Up to date. You should look in this file here. It has the most up-to-date sales numbers. Up to date. The information I have isn't up to date.